just Tiff, just settle down, let's talk about it, cause that's what she's gonna do. It's just Tiff, talking a little of this and some of that too, cause it's just Tiff.
Hello, welcome to the Just Tiff podcast, where I tell you guys some real life stories about some real life topics. This is episode number 29, and thank you guys for tuning in. I have talked about this topic a couple of times in some of my earlier podcast episodes that you can find on anchor.fm. And they were my journey to motherhood and medical gaslighting. So if you guys get the chance to go back and listen to those episodes, they kind of cover a little bit of what I'm gonna talk about today. Today I want to tell you guys about a documentary that I watched on YouTube called Black Mothers Matter. And it was based off of a true story of a lady named Kira Johnson, whose husband named Charles Johnson, they live in California, were speaking on, they had a 18-month-old and they were getting ready to deliver their second son. And they had a scheduled C-section. And so they headed on to the hospital to do their scheduled C-section. And Charles noticed, maybe after a couple of hours, if that, some blood in Kira's catheter. So he alerted the nurses and let them know, hey, she's got a little bit of blood in her catheter. And they were like, oh, okay. Well, the doctor ordered a CT stat, so they'll get on it. According to his story, it was well after midnight before anybody saw her. And when the doctor himself came in after midnight, he told Charles, this is pretty bad, so we're going to take her and fix this. Give us 15 minutes and she'll be back. So Charles said that was the last time he saw his wife. They went in and tried to fix what was wrong and then said that she bled out and there was nothing they could do to save her. A lot of it just really... I'm an emotional person anyway, y'all, but it just did something to my spirit. Mainly, again, if you go back and listen to my journey to motherhood and my medical gaslighting episode, like when I tell y'all, listening to it and knowing for myself with my daughter, that was an emergency C-section. With my son, it was a scheduled C-section. And, listening to Charles say how Kira wanted to get dressed up because she was telling him she wanted to be pretty for their son. And she wanted his first glimpse of her to be, my mom is pretty as a baby. But, he was like, oh, whatever. And, like he said, they had did a C-section before with their first son. So it should have been a routine. He did say that they later found out. Now, this documentary that I watched was 3 years old to today. So I think a lot of this went down in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. But it is insane to me, y'all, just listening to his story and listening to him say how hard it is for him to explain to his boys that their mother is not coming back. And, he was saying with his oldest son even told him, I really want mommy to come back from heaven. And it's like, you don't think about those things in your mind. It's like, we're just going for a scheduled routine, or, it's something that we've done before. And y'all, what it really, I thought so many different things. Now, I'm going to give you guys some of the facts that I wrote down. And it definitely said that one mother dies every 10 minutes from childbirth in the USA. That's how high our mortality rate of childbirth is right now. Like, and it's insane. And one of the main things that they talked about in the documentary was how the mortality rate is a lot higher for black women than it is for white women, where 13 white women could die from giving, childbirth, where it's 44 women of black women could die from childbirth. And y'all, 13 and 44, that, come on now. Like, that ain't even close to being the same. And listening to them and just listening to their story, but then listening to other, like, there was a panel of women up there, and they were speaking, some of them were speaking as nurses. And one lady was even saying that it was commonly taught to her that if you use a certain lingo towards another nurse, then that nurse then knows, oh, well, this is a person of such and such ethnicity, or this person is gonna cause us a lot of issues, so just don't go into their room and check their stats, just check it from the desk. And she was like, hearing about Kira's story, it just really made her step back and look at things from a different perspective. And again, y'all, it resonated with me because when I had Destiny was due November 1st. Destiny was born September 29th. Now, Destiny due date was November 1st, and I remember going for what was it? It wasn't even going for a routine checkup. I think the appointment was, I was supposed to see them, and then I was supposed to be getting blood, iron, something, and went and did that. Then they said, hey, maybe we can't give it to you because your blood pressure is too high. So then I think they ended up, I don't know if they ended up giving it to me or not, honestly, now that I think about it. I think I did still get it, but I just remember going to the hospital a week prior. I think the week prior was contractions, and then they were just like, well, there's nothing we can do, just go home. So then the following week, it was, hey, your blood pressure is extremely high. They kept me that Wednesday night. I left that Thursday. Then they told me to follow up with them at the doctor's office on that Friday. I did. And then they were just like, hey, go to the hospital. Your blood pressure is too high. So I went to the hospital. Around noon, Dr. Allen came in and she was just like, all right, well, we're going to have a baby today. And I'm like, no, ma'am. She's not due till November 1st. It's September 28th. No, ma'am. They did the Pitocin. That didn't work. My cousin even called me and was like, don't do it, Timmy. Don't do the Pitocin. I was just like, no, that'll be fine. It didn't work. Then they told me we would try to have her naturally that Saturday, because this was on a Friday. And when 11-ish, maybe a little 10:30-ish hit, they were just like, all right, well, her heart rate is dropping. We monitored from the desk, so we're going to go ahead and do an emergency C-section. And with Destiny, I threw up the entire C-section. Like, y'all, I promise y'all, I remember my head being turned this way, and I was just the whole C-section. I don't know what they gave me. I don't, but it was horrible. I remember having horrible nurses. Horrible. My husband currently still works at that hospital, PRN, but horrible nurses. Now, let me say, the nurses in labor and delivery, like getting you to the point of having a baby, were awesome. Loved all of them. Shakita, one of my classmates, she was a nurse there. She was so sweet to me. They all helped me to the bathroom. It was just come on, you got it. You could do it. Come on. It was a constant encouragement, loving environment. Once you have that baby and go to the other side of the hallway, them nurses do not care about you. I got jabbed in my hand for IV. And you guys can see my veins already. I'm not, but they jabbed my hand so bad that my hand just swelled up so bad, y'all. I was swollen all over. Like, if anybody goes back and look at our pictures from the hospital with Destiny, my face is swollen, my hands are gigantic, because that's how bad of just reaction I was having to stuff. I remember complaining of chest pain. I remember feeling just a lot of pain. And then I remember at some point during the stay, I started vomiting, and the vomit was like blood brown, just something gross. And my entire family, probably everybody in the room at that point, lost their mind. And I know my mother-in-law thought I was dying. And my mom was the only one, her and my husband both were just like, everybody just stay calm. My dad was losing it. He, like Charles was saying about his wife, Kira, he said his only regret that he has about the whole situation is he feels like he should have said something. And then he said, but in the back of his mind was, if I say something, you know, like, I'm going to be aggressive, you guys need to fix this about my wife, and be extra, then what happens then, you know, because they have her life in their hands. And he didn't want to make it worse, you know. And that was my mom and my husband's standpoint, because my dad was ready to go down there and fight every nurse until they figure out what was wrong with me. And my mom and Devin both were just like, hey, you guys stay calm. You guys stay calm. She's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Just give them a minute. Let's just give them a chance to fix this. And they tried. I ended up leaving. I think I stayed at the hospital like an extra day or two, because it was bad, y'all. It was really bad. But we did finally get to go home, and everything worked out. Now, compared to my scheduled C-section with Tristan, my scheduled C-section with Tristan was a breeze. It was not an issue. We came at 6-ish something. Scheduled C-section was like at 8. Tristan was here by 8:30. Hey, cool. Now, I will say with that one, the only thing that I did not like, which made me think about the documentary, because they kept saying it is so common for Black women to have C-sections. They get very cut happy for the Black women compared to white women. And I don't know how true that is, because I actually know a few white ladies that have had to have C-sections as well as Black women. So not real sure on that. But I will say that they definitely said with Black women, as far as pain, it is said in the medical community that Black women can handle pain a lot more than white women can. So they try not to give us the stronger medications, because they're fearful of addiction for us. And also we just tolerate pain at such a higher level that we shouldn't need that much pain medication. And it did make me think about my C-sections with my kids, because I don't know if it was with Destiny also, but I think it was. I don't know what anesthesia they gave me, but I could feel Dr. Allen cutting my stomach. And I said, hey, I can feel that. And she said, no, you can't. Yes, I can. And so with Tristan, like when she said it with Destiny, I don't think, like I felt it, like I felt the pinch. And then I think after that, I was vomiting, so. But with Tristan, oh no, I felt it, and then I felt like a pulling, and I remember telling her, I feel that, and so I started screaming. And then finally, she gave a look to the anesthesiologist. I don't know what he did, but I promise y'all, very much do I remember after that. Like it was. So, and it made me just think about that, because then I thought too, let me just tell y'all, because this is a whole ordeal. So the husband, Charles Johnson, said he is now suing the hospital in Los Angeles for wrongful death and something else, I think. But the thing is that he said he's now finding out, now that he's suing them, is that the doctor who did the surgery was under investigation at the time that they were delivering. his son, and that he was under investigation because he had killed 6 women during childbirth prior to her. But he still had his license and he was still able to do surgery. So it's like, seriously? Now, this is what hit me with that, y'all, is because I recently had, well, it wasn't recent. I had hysterectomy in 2020. And I have a cyst on my left ovary that I battle frequently. You know, keep me in prayer, y'all, but I battle that thing frequently. And the thing with the one cyst that I still have, is that my doctor recommended me to a doctor in Gainesville, and he's a gynecologist, oncologist. And I said, okay, cool, take me, I'll go. So I met with him twice, and the first thing he said was no surgery, you're too young. Cool. Second time I saw him, only thing we can do is surgery. We got to do surgery. That's it. That's your only way out. When I say, because I have had surgeries every year since 2016, I don't want any more. And that was my first thing to him, was that I don't want any more. So when I started researching him, that was something that also popped up for him, was that he had 4 lawsuits. 2 of them were wrongful death, and 2 of them were like malpractice, and all 4 of them was he left something in them during surgeries, like whether it be gauze, towels, instruments, whatever it may be. He left things inside of these women, and 2 of them died. 2 of them did not die. But it's like, how is it, first off, that in the United States we are the highest in the percentage of killing women during childbirth? Y'all, childbirth is supposed to be a beautiful thing. It is supposed to be something that is just celebrated. You know what I mean? And it's so, you know, I'm trying to find a good word for that, because it's like, to go in for a celebration, but then come out with a mourning. That ain't right. That ain't right, y'all. Where are you awake? Sorry, y'all. My child is waking up in the middle of the night. You can lay down. You're good. But y'all, a lot of it just is insane to me, because the way I look at it is like, we don't know the information about a lot of these doctors when we go in. And then too, like he said, this was a scheduled C-section. So you've done it before. You're not thinking that there's going to be any kind of issue, any kind of anything. You're just thinking, hey, I'm going in here. They're going to take this baby out and we're going to go home. And I say this to say to any mothers, anybody that's wanting to have any more kids, anybody that is pregnant, anybody, anything, research, you guys. Please research these things. Research these doctors. Research these hospitals, honey. Some people, I'm telling you, if you ain't got Google, Yelp, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff on Facebook. You can find all of it. So please don't hesitate to learn more facts, you know. I will say too, even if it's not just Black women, just women in general, because we as women are not spoken for a lot in society, because we're women. We're supposed to be less than of the man. So a lot of times they don't hear us, you know, and especially a Black woman, they definitely don't hear us. So I pray and just ask that you all that are looking to have more kids, looking to have kids, looking to anything with kids, please do your research. Not even just kids, Lord. If just any kind of surgery, any kind of procedures, anything medical, research, you guys. Research all of your things, all of your facts. Know everything. Know your questions. If you gotta get a second opinion, get a second opinion. Go how many routes you need to go until you feel comfortable about your health. Okay? Talk to you guys next week. Bye.